Okay, so in this lesson, now that we've gotten a little further along in the edit, I want to start talking a little bit about when does the edit page come in. We've been using the cut page, so when do I start using the edit page? Well, what you'll find in a real world project, especially if you do understand the edit page and you've been using that, is that really you'll be, at the beginning doing maybe 100% on the cut page, and then as your cut starts evolving and getting more polished, you'll find yourself slowly switching over to edit to do a little thing here, and then you'll switch back, and then you'll do cut page. And as the cut moves forward, you'll find yourself slowly kind of switching over to the edit page. In my experience, typically after about the third cut, maybe the fourth cut, is when I'll just switch over to the edit page and I'll continue my edit there until I get the picture lock. And then naturally from there, I'll do the sound design, and then I'll switch to the color page and do the color correction and grading. So that should hopefully give you a good idea of when you would switch over. But with that being said, if I'm ever doing a very simple, short project, I do everything in the cut page. It's that easy. So really, there's no right or wrong or when. I think just when you naturally start using it, you'll start learning both of the different rooms, both of the different pages, the edit and the cut page, and you'll just naturally start switching back and forth between them, and that's what will make you faster. So hopefully this is helpful, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Okay, so this is going to be a super fast class, and I'm just going to basically cover the quick export setting. So now you're done. Again, you don't necessarily need all of the precise export settings that are in the deliver page. If you just basically want to say send this out to show to someone, show to a client, or just to export it, to see what it looks like on your phone or something else, they have the very quick and easy export setting here, which you can just simply go through here, select H265, for example. It automatically names it whatever your timeline name is, and then you just simply hit export. Or if you have, say, a YouTube account, you would sign in here and it would export it and place it there. So if I do this, then it just simply asks me where do I want to save it. Let's say I save it here. I hit save, and it starts exporting it right away. And there we go, we're done. Go to wherever you saved it, open it up, adventure. And there we go. So very quick and easy short lesson there. In the next lessons, I'm just going to cover a little bit of bonus material, things like the proxy workflow, multicam editing. So definitely check those out, and I'll see you there. Okay, so that's the class. You got through it. Hopefully at this point you are very comfortable with the cut page, or you're going to download the footage that I provide, do the project, upload it. Make sure you provide a YouTube link so that I can watch through whatever you do. Ask away in the discussions page below. Also, if you're going to post to YouTube, check out my YouTube channel right here. I'm always posting, all kinds of different things about DaVinci Resolve, or just editing or filmmaking oriented and other things. So feel free to subscribe there. Also, check out my other classes. The one I would recommend is this one here, which goes a little bit more into, the overall workflow of DaVinci Resolve. We focused on the cut page, but if you watch that, you'll notice the workflow overall. So with that being said, thank you again. Leave a review, and I'll see y'all next time. Okay, so in this bonus lesson, I want to go over proxies. A lot of people don't know what they are, especially if you're new to editing. But they're a very common part of the production process or the post-production process. Simply put, a proxy is taking your big or camera original file, making a smaller copy of it, so that when you edit on your computer, which may be slower, it plays back smoothly. You can edit with no problems. There's no delay of any kind. And then when you're finished with your project, you export. Resolve automatically will select the full quality files. And then you have the best of both worlds. You can shoot in 4K, you can edit in a lower quality just to edit smoothly and quickly. And then when you export at the end, you have your 4K files again. So it's win-win. You get, all the quality your camera can do, because a lot of people spend a lot of money on a camera, their computer's too slow, and then they shoot at a much lower resolution that their camera can actually do because their computer's too slow, and they basically wasted all that money. So enough talk. Let's jump into the next lesson. I'll show you this proxy workflow, and you'll be shocked how easy it is. So let's jump right over. Okay, so in this bonus lesson, I am just going to cover the proxy generator workflow. So again, proxies are needed whenever your computer is too slow and can't play back footage, or maybe your hard drives are too slow too. And let's say you have, a clip, for example, here that I dropped in. This is a clip. If I go here, you'll see the specs. It's a 5K clip shot on the red. So, it may be a bit too much for this computer to handle and this hard drive to handle. If I go through and play back, you'll see that it's very choppy and slow. Very choppy, it almost seems like it kind of jump cuts or something at some points. Very choppy. So how would you fix that, okay? If your system cannot play back footage like this, or it may just be that, you have an older machine and you might not be working with red footage. It may be that maybe your computer just can't even handle, 4K footage from whatever camera you're shooting on. So Resolve has a function, a workflow that's a proxy workflow. And the way you would do that is you would first, open, they have a program that comes with it called Blackmagic Proxy Generator. And so if I open this program up, this program basically transcodes everything to these formats that are much easier for a system to handle. So the default you can see is H.264, 8-bit, 420, 1080p. Don't worry if you don't know what all that means. That basically just means that it's going to be lower quality, something that's very manageable for your system. If you have a very slow system, you might have to go to something even lower, but that tends to be good for most systems. It's very easy. All you simply do is you add your folder with your media down here, or maybe if it's just a handful of clips, you add those down here and you start the process. And kind of like magic, Resolve knows what's going on. It knows, that you have a full quality file and that you created proxies, and it automatically will place those and swap them out. And if you remember earlier in the class, I mentioned that we would go over what this is here with all the different proxy functions. That's where this comes into play. And you select what you prefer, proxies or prefer camera originals. So let's do that very quickly for this one shot, okay? So I'm going to switch over to here and I'm going to add a file. Okay, so there we go. I added that clip there. It's in this folder. And again, it's just for the car clip there. So all you do is you say, you can either add an entire folder with media, or you can add specific clips, and you hit the start button. It then goes through and creates proxies for that media that's really bogging down your system. And the files end up being very, very small. And then once it's done, it says complete. Okay, so now I can close down the Blackmagic Proxy Generator, and notice what, I don't know if you saw that, but notice that, things kind of switch. Now there's this little icon in the bottom left telling you that you are using a proxy. And because the default selection here is prefer proxies, then, now if I scroll back and try to play through that, see the difference? Much smoother. And I'll even go back to full screen. Plays back much smoother, and the files are much smaller, and now pretty much any computer can probably handle that file. And if I go back and then if I say, I prefer camera originals, that icon is gone. It's not there anymore. Okay, and now if I play through this clip again, you can see right away how choppy and how much it bogs down the system. But